On this episode of Pimp My Setup, I'm going to be talking about your setups you submit for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 182. We're live on January 22nd, 2017. My name's Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Philly. And as always, I am joined by producer Tom.
Guys.
Good one.
I was trying to think of something to say, but the thing I was about to say seemed kind of controversial, so I didn't want to say it.
Oh, Trump's in office now.
No, just the march of women and all that, but it's just
I'm marching for... I don't know what I'm marching for.
But it's like, it's great and all, but, you know.
Anyways, better not to say that. Yeah. But Tom just joined our Discord server after a long-awaited time. Yeah. If you want to chat with Tom, which I know basically everybody that watches the show prefers him over me, Discord is in the description, the link to it. How you liking Discord, Tom?
It's a lot of cool people. I think it's the major fans, the people that love the show and love Matt. Mm-hmm. We'll go there and talk, you know, and you can talk about your setups too, just hang out, you know. Yeah,
we got hangouts, setup, music lounge, everything. We're in the voice chat pretty often playing games. It's a good time. Also, Setup Addicts, the Facebook group is nearing 20,000 members. We're very, very close. Definitely go check that out and post on there as well. In addition to that, if you want to get your setup submitted, then go to pimpmysetup.com/Q and be sure to purchase a fast pass. If you want to skip the line and support the show, you don't have to, but it is an option. We did get another sale, which is awesome, but they are waiting until they have everything situated. So this year has been off to a great start. We do appreciate everyone's support. Nonetheless, let's not waste any more of your time, even though I will say as a precursor, this episode will be a waste of your time due to the setups being kind of ballsack awful. But anyways, let's hop into the first one, submitted by Cody. Cody's 15, he uses setup for gaming, movies, and other computer stuff. What do you mean by that, Cody? Anyways, taking a look at specifically that photo, I will say he has sent in updated photos over time. His cable management has improved greatly in comparison to old photos. Now, obviously, we're still seeing the bottom right corner under the right speaker. There is a little bit of a right there. So I definitely think a little bit of we'll kind of fix that up just a tad. Same with the left side, not as bad because obviously the bulk is going to the computer. But, you know, man, I haven't seen speakers like that in a long time, honestly. The monitor itself looks like you done diddly splooged and forgot to clean. So I would, get yourself some Windex, get yourself some water, pour it all over, and you'll be all set and ready to go.
If you just turn on the monitor, I don't think you'd notice
it would have hid a lot of it for sure. That's actually a good point. Also, taking a look at the left side, we have a big air fan tower thing. I'm pretty sure it's like either a heater or just a fan, something like that. I don't know. I ain't got one of those. I got Central Air, dog. But that's cool. It's just, it looks like an interesting location for it. But I guess you did some mathematics and you said this is the best spot for it. If I want to get that nice cool breeze, that's where it's got to be. Now, Tom, what do you think about that corner? He's got a stack of boxes. Yay or nay?
It's never yay. It's like boxes are never a good idea unless they're really cool boxes, which is really never the case. They shouldn't be there. So take them off.
I mean, it's cool that the GPU box does have Fallout on it.
Yeah.
And it does have a Fallout poster just to the left side over there of the same image, which is cool. But maybe if anything, I'd say just stick with that box and that box only. But the rest of the room seems to have a little bit of, just crap. If you look to the right side of the desk, you're seeing a lot of crap over there. If you look to the left side, he's got like a laundry basket upside down with some stuff, making it into a nightstand. Interesting, but weird. And it's just a weird variety of things, especially... What is that thing? If you look in the second photo at the bottom, he's got like something on the floor next to the subwoofer. I can't really tell what it is. It looks
like just a vent.
No, that's like something that is... Oh, is it a vent? Oh, yeah.
You can't see it on the screen.
Whoa, that's weird. That's actually, from that angle, you could tell. It's a vent. That is a weird spot for a vent. And you are covering it with your subwoofer, so, okay. Interesting setup, though. The walls are dirty, especially in that photo. You can see the underneath. I guess people wear their shoes and just, like, track mud all over. I don't know what you got to do to it, but it's there's a bird that needs to be shot, and I'm about to grab a shotgun and then just do it. But don't you agree? Under the desk looks so dirty. The wall.
It's the lighting. The lighting makes it seem more dreary and like.
Yeah, but it's got to be dirty if it's coming up like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely tell that there's something.
It's probably the flash that, like you said, kind of makes
There's got to be some spit marks.
Emphasizes
on
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, but still pretty nasty. Nonetheless, let's go to the next setup. Now, this one. What the? Okay, all right. So this is submitted by David. Now, here's the thing. The last guy, Cody, was 15. You'd think this guy's a little bit younger. Nope, he's 18. Yeah. He wants to know how to fix his cables. Well, the first thing you got to do is actually try. Now, the second thing that kind of irritates me is, Tom, does this desk look familiar?
Yeah, it's my desk.
It is your desk. And do you remember there being a cable management slot?
It's so nice to have it. It's like literally, it's like right inside. I mean, it's not the best like thing, but you can easily throw your cables.
But it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
It does have a grommet hole in the back, and it is easy to use, right?
Yeah.
So why did you not use it? God!
Is that a power brick or like the extension cord thing? Is that where he plugs all his stuff in?
Well, okay, that could be the issue. Maybe that's too big.
Yeah, there's no way to fit.
But the whole idea is, especially the cables coming out of the computer and everything to that extent, should be fed through and then brought to the left side, and at least coming into one big strand. But instead, it looks like he was, I don't know, just not really caring at all. Now, the thing is, on his desk, he's got himself a nice pair of water speakers. Everybody loves a nice pair of water speakers. They spout out a little bit of pss, pss every time you listen to the boom, boom, But he's also got a pair of, great grandma's friggin' speakers there, too. So why? But why? What is the point of double speakers? Now, the other thing I'm not a big fan of is just the outside out of mind here. A little bit too much of things that you don't need. Now, the car there to the left is cool, but I also think that it's not really the best spot for it. If anything, it should be going into the corner at an angle, not necessarily utilizing the left side, which you could be using for schoolwork, whatever the case may be. Just outside out of mind here isn't the best. You have headphones that are hung up on the wall, and then you have headphones that aren't hung up on the wall. Just a little bit too much random stuff. Not really a theme at all. I mean, you like cars? Then okay, show us that you like cars. You can't just have one thing on the desk and say, the car theme is pretty relevant here. Do you agree with me, Tom, or am I just a dick?
No, it's a bad setup. It's just straight up a bad setup. Mike in Tech Examine in chat, he's saying dual audio, so you can have emphasis of just multiple sources.
Because those water speakers sound great.
Yeah,
man.
but then having the other older speakers, man, it'd probably be sounding double awesome.
Yeah. Well, I wonder. One thing I will say though, because although the water speakers sound like a tin can up someone's ass, I do think having water spouting out could be pretty cool. So I want to know, for people that own the nice water speakers, are you actually able to have the volume muted for it, but the water still spouts out? See, because then he might really be a smart guy, and he might just be playing us. You know what I'm saying? But again, dirty walls, you look at under the desk, it is a common theme. And like somebody just said in chat, it's been happening every single episode recently where there are like disgustingly dirty walls. So I might have to make a PSA coming up here soon on how to clean a wall, how to paint, simple things like that. But nonetheless, I don't have much else to say unless you do.
No, just start over.
All right, cool. Hey, right to the point. I like it. Go to the next setup submitted by Sweggie. Now, he's been around for a while. If you go to the third photo specifically, you'll see he's got himself the stickers. We've got SETUPS, Swashin, and Pimp, my setup. Just a nice trio right there. What are your thoughts on putting, stickers on the PC? What do you think, Tom?
I mean, it's cool because they're...
Because he has Swashin.
It's Swashin stickers.
But
that's the only reason it's cool, but the other stickers are not great.
Yeah, if he didn't have Swashin, I'd probably say it's a little cringy, but he does have Swashin, so we're good. Now, taking a look at the first photo... he says that he makes videos and films for his YouTube channel, which is also called Sweggie. But then go back to the second photo. Now, he says the only cable he can't fix is that headphone cable. And he said everything else is perfect. But I'm not seeing the same picture as him, I think. Obviously that headphone cable is pretty obvious and it's not really the worst thing in the world. And if anything, you could have hit it for the photo. But nonetheless, I think that there's a little bit more of a problem with, yes, you're utilizing the Signum. That's very nice. But then it's spewing out to the left side and not really being managed. So one nice stream, all Velcro going down the backside of that black leg is going to be ideal. It also kind of sucks that you have a lot of white and tan colored cables because it makes it stick out a little bit more and it's harder to hide behind a leg like that. But I won't say your cable management is awful. I'll just say, just fix that little bit and you'll be set and ready. So not awful. Again, the walls there need a little bit of paint, a little bit of love, maybe don't kiss. I was going to say a little kiss, make them feel better, but I'd say if you kiss that, you probably get herpes. Now, taking a look at the rest of the setup, Tom's a hat guy, right? In his room, he's got a windowsill that can be covered by his curtains, but he's got like 87 different snapbacks.
Yes.
And they're pretty dope, and I like it. But what do you think about something like this? Yay or nay?
That's what I used to have in my old room. I hung them up just like that, basically. Okay. And I mean, it works, but at the same time, I don't like where the level is of it. If it was higher
too low,
up, it's too low. Like where I feel like if you're like off to your right of your desk, whatever, you can elbow one of them like right off.
That's a good point.
So I mean, having them higher up would be beneficial.
Yeah, if any, well, I mean, maybe he wants an easy, quick grab and go, but I agree, like having it looks a little too low, and especially against the molding, which I think that's what he's using to kind of like help hang it up. But still, I think he did a terrible job utilizing the wall space here. I'm not really a fan of the thing on the right with all the bags and the lanyards and stuff. Maybe cool sentimental things to you, but I think there's a better way to display that as well. But especially behind the monitor, you have sort of a whiteboard. It's like videos to record. KC Old Lady Story, Helicopter Man. Hey, there's a Setup Addicts thing over there too. But
Helicopter Mom, it looks like.
Oh, Helicopter Mom.
Or Man, I don't know.
Even better. Look, it could. No, you're right.
It could be both.
It could be both, but I think it's Mom. You're right. I don't think that's a great utilization there. If you have to write on the whiteboard, you're leaning over. It's just kind of stupid. So I think that would look better on the right side of the wall, and then actually putting the hats all along the back, above the monitor would look pretty cool. Maybe a little bit hard to get, but you don't really have the biggest desk ever, so it's not like much of a reach. But I think better utilization there is going to be necessary to get a good theme score. Overall, out of sight, out of mind is not awful. It's pretty good, but it's just a simple, straight to the point setup. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, the desk itself, usability is perfect for the most part. That mic looks like it comes out easily.
Pretty nicely, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, everything's on the desk is fine. I think it's just around the desk.
Yeah, it's especially the left piece that's holding the PC,
Yeah.
Grandma probably wants that back, and it kind of kills your whole black theme that you're going with. But yeah, I think that's pretty nice, pretty simple setup. Let's go to the next one, submitted by Nicholas. Now, Nicholas is 13, right? And here's the thing. 4 days ago, I sent out an email to these people saying, hey, if you have any updated photos, send them my way so you can be on the show with your new photos, because that's the whole idea. Now, sometimes it's better not to send updated photos. Like, for instance, in Nicholas's case, the second photo, which I appreciate him being honest, but what the hell, dude? Why would you send me that? Why would you not just, I don't know, because you're using a laptop. Why not just pull the desk forward and push that shit behind the left drawer? Bada bing, bada boom. Ain't nobody gonna know, man. Ain't nobody gonna know. But because of that, I kind of looked at this in a different light. And I said, you know what? Nicholas is kind of a douche. Because he knows I hate cables. And what does he do? He sends me that. It's really kind of messed up. So obviously I gave you a 0 for cable management because there was no attempt. And I mean, literally your legs will be sitting in that cable pile. Now, the actual setup itself is obviously going off of a laptop. There's nothing wrong with that. There never has been anything wrong with it. But you're kind of running out on space because you have the PS4 there. Now, I would assume that you're going to play the PS4 on that monitor, because where else are you going to play it? I know you can now play it on your Mac. Everyone suck my balls. But what I'm saying is, realistically, a 13-year-old is going to be playing on that monitor. Not really the best usability. I mean, it's not bad considering what you're working with. I just think that maybe there could have been a better solution. But you're tight on space. I get that. It's just an interesting setup. It's simple. There's no theme, obviously. There's really not a lot to say. That's why I'm going to hand the mic on over to T-Fizz.
Yeah, speaking of Mike, his blue snowball should be usable. It's not. It's like in the top. Like, how are you going to use that if you ever just like, oh, I'm chatting with friends on Skype? Like, how are you going to use that? Where are you going to put that on your desk? It's
I mean, he probably just leaves it there because it probably picks them up fine. But I know what you mean, like, to move it closer.
Spot to have it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. If you like, because normally people pull their mics a lot closer to them. But no, I agree. It's an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah,
especially the mouse right there, and I mean. You do what you got to do, man, but it is what it is. And someone is actually saying, is that food on the right Looks like a pack of tissues, a plate. No, it looks like some random stuff. But good looking out. But yeah, and someone said, is the snowball even connected? I actually don't think it is. That's a good point. And then that lamp, dude, like, come on. That lamp is like the most half-ass attempt at a lamp. Regardless, it is what it is, and that's all that it is. Let's go to the next setup submitted by Alec. Now, thank God we had at least one good setup for today. Now, Alec is 14. He uses a setup for gaming graphic design. He needs to use a laptop since he has to bring it to school and his parents are divorced. So he needs something that he can take on the go. You know, when he leaves this setup, he can still have a dope ass setup, if you know what I mean, mobile. But yeah, taking a look at this. I mean, first off, he's got himself Thor as a bed sheet.
I don't even see that.
Oh, you can. Yeah. There you go. That's pretty dope. That is pretty dope, dude.
Hey, Matt.
What's up, man? But yeah, all right. Actually, talking about the setup itself, you guys kind of know where I stand on LEDs being shown, just kind of like right in your face, you know, not being hidden and diffused against a wall or a surface of some sorts. It's not really the way that LEDs are meant to be used. Now, yes, I don't think it actually looks that bad in this setup compared to other people, because normally they have like a little bit hanging down because they have excess or whatever. I will at least give you that. It doesn't look awful. But in person, speaking of the actual usability, that is where your arms go when you're typing. That's got to be annoying. And also, in person, they're also, I keep saying also, I want to punch myself in the face, but they are brighter too. They're really going to be bright and kind of annoying. I could see that being an issue. Now, again, not the worst thing ever, but that is something I would probably change. You can actually cut the LED strip, and that'd be it. But do you think that's an issue? Or?
Yeah, it probably is, but it looks cool. I mean, it looks like it's a part of the desk. Yeah, for the photo, but it's probably not great in real life.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about putting your arms down on the desk to type.
Yeah, you probably feel it.
Yeah, and it's like the Scotch tape probably. Like,
I don't know if it produces a lot of heat, but maybe you'll feel the heat on your
maybe
arms.
He likes that.
Maybe.
He's like, oh. Anyways, now here's the other thing. The outside out of mind on the desk isn't bad. Obviously, he only has things on there that he needs, but I just feel like the cables look worse than they have to be. Like the mouse cable I don't care about, but I feel like there's
it's just the headphone cable. Really, everything else is just straight to the back. Yeah,
in the back left, like that cable coming from the lamp could easily, you rotate that lamp base a little bit, boom, that's gone. Yeah, it does make it look like more than it is, but again, nitpicking. It's not a bad setup by any means. The one thing I'm not a big fan of is the shelf. I think the shelf, especially the bottom shelf, is just way too high up. Because if you're going to put that high up, then why would you put the one above it so close to it? Like, I get that you only have small things on it, but you want to give it a little bit of breathing room. Also, I'm not a big fan of the curtains and all that, but he told me in the email that he hates it and wants to change it and will hopefully change it later this year. So looking at this setup, Tom, I mean, he really has the red. He's got the chair and all that. Do you think that there's a theme?
I think there is. I mean, he likes Star Wars. You could tell that like right away. And it's weird because, you know, the blue wall and the blue curtains and the red like peripherals and chair and all that, it looks weird, but it kind of
it's like a nice red and blue theme.
It doesn't even look that bad. Like,
yeah, and it's not even bright blue. I think that's what makes it better. It's kind of like a lighter blue.
No, yeah, so it doesn't look like too harsh or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think it looks good. I mean,
yeah. I love the stuff he has on the shelves. It's so nicely organized. It's really, really cool. But I think maybe bringing it down a notch. Also, it's pretty interesting. He has some beer posters, considering he's only 14. Anyways, that's probably from some sort of movie or TV show. I just don't know. I don't really care to know. But that is it. So now, let's go to the next setup submitted by Reese. Now, I'm going to ask you, Tom. He's 14, right? He's full-time something. What do you think it is?
God, I've seen this guy's email like so many times. I honestly wouldn't know.
He's a full-time photographer, which is interesting.
Okay.
You know, yeah. Now, here's the other thing. We only have these two photos, right? So we didn't really get like a great setup shot, if you will. But the setup itself is kind of shit. I don't want to hurt his feelings because he's 14, but he's using what looks to be a bandana or handkerchief of some sorts as a mouse pad. Half of it is for his keyboard. He's using a laptop primary, which is not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we've seen a lot of that today, but I just think the overall usability for the setup itself is kind of shit. Now, the other thing that's really interesting is if you go into the corner over there, he's got an Xbox One, what looks like a DVR with the Xbox 360 on top with his Kinect camera on top. You are quite literally slowly killing your Xbox One, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not a scientist by any means, but I'm just going to make it the assumption based on some of the ventilation holes being on the top, you're actually suffocating it with not one, but two things. And then even on top of that, you're taking the Xbox Kinect camera and saying... right there. So a little bit weird to me with how that works. Now, I think the Summit race thing, the big ass thing, that's cool, but I think that also kind of kills what you're going for. Only because you could have utilized that space a lot better with like the jerseys going over there, and like you have stuff in the top corner of Hot Wheels and stuff. Instead of putting all that stuff at the tippy top of the ceiling, why not put it to the left? If you really have a big meaning behind the Summit thing, then that's fine. But I just thought that's really nice, valuable wall space that could be utilized. And yeah, I mean, it's not like you could even fully read what the thing says. You know, you're kind of covering up the fish tank and whatnot. But I think you have a lot of cool, interesting stuff on the wall and surrounding, but the setup itself is kind of not great. And I kind of feel bad for the fish. They probably, always wish, I just wish Reese would clean his damn room for once. It's all we look out all day, dude. But yeah, I think out of sight, out of mind as well. You got a pumpkin with sunglasses, games, and all that stuff on the desk. That's all got to go. You got tape all over the place. Your cables, especially in the far back left, is just absolutely insane. Need to be worked on. Now, the one thing he said is, I made a hole in my wall to feed the cables through. Well, that's great. Except it's like shit. Like, I understand the initiative, but first problem is it's way too far down. So it's kind of like, a weird spot to do it. But I think a little bit further up would have been nice, because then you could at least route the cables going to the right to go right and then down, rather than like a little slope, a little whoosh. You know what I'm saying? That definitely needs to be worked on. Tom is like, obviously,
I'm just thinking because he's like, if he's gonna make a hole in the wall, wouldn't he like benefit him to like think it out first?
Yeah,
I think he just did it, and he's like, I'll feed him through here.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I got a little square. I'm gonna burn. He's like, that's it. That's the spot. Really though, what's with like all the old the cloth and the rags and everything? It really makes me think of like some old shit that he got from like some old person's house, weird. So Tom, thoughts on theme? How does he streamline it? What does he do?
Unlike you, I like the Summit
Get out of my damn shit,
because I've never seen anything like that before, and I just wish the fish tank wasn't there, like you said, because it's kind of blocking what it's saying. You can still read it if you're not dumb enough, but
what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying it fits there like perfectly, like it really does, and
it does. It is a nice size, I would say.
Yeah, and it's like it seems like it's a cool thing that like he's probably had for a while. And he's like, oh, I finally get to have it on my wall. It's just the stuff on the right wall that's like a little crazy, a little just weirdly placed.
No idea.
Just take it all down. And I don't know. I mean, I'd work on your setup first, because like maybe you want a PC you've been saving up. I'd rather save up for a PC than save up for like frames or like for like your jerseys or whatever.
I agree. I mean, I just think, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Like Tom said, I'd focus on the setup first. I mean, if you could even call it a setup, it's like cool. The Xbox thing is nice, even though they're like triple stacked.
Yeah, I'd
like
find something to display your consoles or whatever, and not have them suffocate.
Yeah, like that 360 can go standing up. So put that off the damn Xbox. Put your DVR elsewhere. I mean, it's just like it's interesting. It is definitely interesting, especially the whole Mr. Mom thing. If you guys know about that. And then Mike Tech Exam, who's always dropping some interesting feedback in the chat, said, walk in slowly, set down a bomb, set the timer to 20 seconds, grab what you really want, and get out. That is definitely a way to do it, but I feel like 20 seconds might not be enough for the amount of things he has. The poor fish would be like, grab us!
Xbox One, Xbox 360, see you later.
Bam, fish dead. Anyways, let's already. The final set of the day is submitted by Tommy. He's 14. And we got two photos. We got this and then the undershot. Not awful. Staying on this photo, I think that it's interesting that only one monitor's on. I say it all the time. Having all the monitors on, having a nice wallpaper makes a huge difference. because it's like, oh, it works and the cable management is pretty good. So, he did a good job. Now, I think behind the monitors, yeah, we see some cables. We see some crisscross, a little bit of this, that, and the other. But, for the most part, the cable management is pretty good. We see some cables on the left side on the desk by the PC, under the middle side with the one cable going. And then, I think it's an interesting setup nonetheless. Looking at the first photo of the theme, it's all cramped onto one little shelf, which is fine. But I think that sign, you could actually get something to adhere it above or below, or maybe even on the left side of the wall under the clock. That way it's completely visible, but it also kind of makes the shelf not look as cramped. Now, you have a lot of weird stuff on the shelf. We see a lot of cologne, a lot of lotion, a lot of weird products, but he's got Beats Pill and some games. I don't hate it. I definitely think taking the sign off will make it not look as cramped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an interesting setup. I think the Blue Yeti Whiteout Edition kind of works here. Kind of looks good. You should have gotten a white arm for it. I think that would have been cool. But I guess the whole contrast thing kind of works. It's an innocent 14-year-old setup. I don't hate you for having a monitor that looks old and it's got the weird bezel, white bezel and everything. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I literally just think it's a simple, straight to the point setup. It's not great though. Like, it's not, he's getting a 90 or anything. It's an okay setup. And would you agree with that?
Yeah. The one thing I would say is I would move your PS4 somewhere else, because you can't even like you can't even put your disc in or whatever, because it's blocked by the mic or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's got a controller stand in the back corner.
It's
on top of the PS4, but it's back there hiding.
And he's got an Echo Dot. So for anybody that has their speakers on, Alexa, Google porn. Got him. Probably got nobody, but I always like to try, Also, headphone stand, right?
Yeah. I mean, simple stuff.
It's nice though. And I think that desk is like $100 on Amazon. It's pretty good. Yeah. So not bad at all, but that is obviously all we got. 7 setups and most of them suck. First up of the day, Cody 68, David 38, bravo, Sweggie with a 72, Nicholas 40, Alec 76, Reese 46, Tommy 74. So we just got ourselves some people going to be competing in the worst setup of 2017. Whole little slideshow coming up in about 12 months. So.
It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, it's can't believe you guys are already on the list. But yeah, Alec obviously won first place. I think it was pretty good. I think 76 was fair, but with a little bit of fixing in the cable management, out of sight, out of mind section, he'd be pretty golden. But interesting setup, interesting episode nonetheless. I am currently brain dead. Thanks for watching this episode of Pimp My Setup, episode 182. We're live on January 22nd, 2017. My name's Matt Philly. You can find me on Twitter at Philly, and you can find Tom at Thomas Philly. What the hell was that? That is a gang sign. I'm gonna have to sign out now. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on Tuesday.